Hey, welcome to Katie's Garage. Today I'm going to show you how to do the most important thing that you can do for your car, and that's how to change your oil. But before we get started with that, I want to say a huge thank you to today's video sponsor, Fumoto USA. They make these amazing oil drain valves, which I'm going to be installing in my car today, and you're going to see just why they're so cool at the end of the video. To learn more about Fumoto USA, go ahead and check out their website. The link is below in the description. All right, let's get started. Let's start off with talking about what tools you're going to need. You're going to need an oil filter, an oil drain pan, some rubber gloves to keep your hands clean, a ratchet and a socket that's appropriate for your drain plug, and then some oil. So I have a high mileage here, which is what I prefer to use, but I also have a synthetic. So it's up to you on what's best for your car, and your owner's manual should have some recommendations on which ones to use. The other thing you're going to need is some jack stands and a jack, and you can use the jack that comes with your car, but I prefer to use this style, and I'd recommend you get one if you're going to continue to change your own oil. You also might want some safety glasses, a funnel, and an oil filter wrench. The first step is that you're going to need to go ahead and jack up your car. So locate your jack points by searching in your owner's manual. Here on the side is the jack point for my Scion TC. Make sure that you position your jack right underneath that jack point and slowly start jacking up the car, making sure that the alignment is correct on your jack point. Once the car is safely lifted, you're going to want to put a jack stand underneath so that it supports the car while you go ahead and jack up the other side of the car if necessary. And just repeat these exact same steps on the other side. Give the car a push to make sure it's secure and you're good to go. Now locate your oil drain plug and your oil filter. Go ahead and loosen up your oil drain plug and make sure that you have your oil catch pan underneath it. So first you'll need to loosen it with your ratchet and socket, and then you should be able to remove the plug by hand. Make sure to use caution if your car engine is warm because the oil will be very hot. Once the oil is finished draining, you're going to need to remove your oil filter. If it's too tight to remove by hand, use an oil filter wrench. Next, you're going to take a little bit of that old oil and apply some oil to the new oil filter. This is to make sure that it seals properly up against your engine. Go ahead and install the new oil filter by turning it to the right, hand tight. So this is the Fumoto valve, and the thing that is super cool about this is you can replace your oil pan drain plug with one of these, and then when that's in, it's going to start draining out of this little hole. So you can literally change your oil in a couple of minutes just by flipping a valve, closing it, and then changing your oil filter. So it's really, really cool. Make sure that it's appropriate for your car. Make sure you do your research and make sure that you're installing these correctly. You don't want to have to use a bunch of tools every time. This is a really great way to save yourself some time if it's appropriate for your car. Now it's time to reinstall your oil drain plug. You can use a Fumoto like I do, or you can go ahead and reinstall your factory oil drain plug. Make sure that you don't over tighten it if you don't have a torque wrench available, but you do want it to be very snug. So if you're sticking with your regular oil engine drain plug, one thing I forgot to mention in the beginning is that you will probably want to replace this crush washer, and just make sure that you pick one up when you get your oil filter and your oil, and they're super cheap and easy to replace. After your oil drain plug is installed, you're going to want to go ahead and lower your car back down to the ground so that you have a nice level surface to make sure that you have the proper amount of oil in your car. Alright, so after you've lowered the car back down, it's time to go ahead and fill up your oil. So you're probably wondering, okay, how much oil do I put in the car? This is a really good time to consult the owner's manual that came with your car. If yours is missing, you can just quickly look it up online and it'll tell you how many quarts your car takes. Now it's time to add the fresh oil. This is where a funnel really comes in handy, but if you don't have one, just make sure to clean up when you're done. Make sure that your cap is nice and snug when you're all finished filling it up. Next, we're going to go ahead and check the oil level after the car has sat for a few minutes. You do this by removing your dipstick and wiping it off with a clean rag. Reinsert the dipstick and then pull it back out and check the level. You want it to be as close to the full mark, which is this top one right here. Don't forget to recycle your old used oil. So I'm using an old oil container and pouring this old oil in so I can drop it off at my local AutoZone. Thank you so much for watching today's Car Basics video of how to change your oil on Katie's Garage. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to get more great basic videos like this one so that you can keep learning how to maintain your car. Thanks for watching. See you later. I remember